by telling you that the federal government is engaging with some critical groups across the country to see if they can prevail on organizers of a nationwide protest to shelve their plans. The government is insisting that it recognizes the constitutional right of every citizen to organize peaceful protests, but there are fears that the protest may become a tool for mischief makers to instigate violence that will lead to the destruction of property. The planned protest seems to be gaining momentum online with the hashtag #EndBadGovernance, but there is also a significant population opposed to the planned protests. The organizers of these civil disobedience remain largely unknown and have kept security agencies on their toes. However, security agencies have now developed new strategies to gather credible intelligence, and that move is paying off as it has led to arrests and increased surveillance across the country. In the meantime, President Bola Tinubu says that the policies being implemented by his administration will also need a little more time to manifest. But, and he says that all of these programs will turn around the country's economic fortunes and improve the quality of lives. My guest today is the spokesman of President Bola Tinubu. He is Chief Ajuri Ngelale, Special Advisor on Media and Publicity. Welcome to the program, sir.
Always a privilege to be with you, Femi.
Yes, sir. Why does it seem that, a government that insists it is not against the right of citizens to protest and also recognizes that right is now making frantic efforts to prevail on protesters to shelve plans?
Femi, let me, first of all, take this opportunity to put it on record that we have heard certain utterances from some members of even our own administration, and indeed from some subnational entities in the country, suggesting that Nigerians do not have the right to protest and that they would be stopped from protesting. I want to be very clear this evening in front of the nation in saying that there is nobody within our administration that has the standing, the command, or the gravitas to tell any Nigerian citizen that they cannot peacefully protest and that they cannot peacefully protest in any part of this country. We are not in office to dominate our people. We are in office to serve our people, and this is the position of the President. His Excellency President Bola Tinubu has been very clear that the notion of peaceful protest is a central component of an effective functioning democracy. He cited the fact that as an activist, it was the power of peaceful protest, even against the murderous and brutal nature of the regimes in office at the time, to ultimately achieve the result of a return to civilian rule in 1999. So it will never be a president with that background that would in any way insinuate or suggest that Nigerians should not engage in peaceful protest if they have decided to do so. I want to make that abundantly clear. And the last point on that is that anyone who disagrees with the notion from inside of government, the notion that we are here to serve our people, that we're not here to dominate them, that Nigerians do have the right to peacefully protest, they are lining up themselves against a commander-in-chief of the armed forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria who will defend the right of Nigerians to peacefully protest in any part of this country. And we want to be very unequivocal about that.
Well, a lot of people are worried about, the outcome of the NTAS protest, how it turned out. And that's why this time around, they want to be very careful and see if indeed they can prevail on these protesters to shelve their plans, because they say again that they have credible intelligence that this might as well be hijacked like NTAS.
Thank you, Femi. And such concerns are legitimate. But we don't throw the baby out with the bathwater, and we don't operate in bad faith simply because a certain scenario unfolded several years ago under a different leadership in the country. Our view is that indeed there are lessons to be gleaned from what happened in 2020. But that does not now mean that Nigerians who have lived through that experience, who understand that it is entirely possible for a peaceful protest to be hijacked by such mischievous elements and maybe political forces in some cases, that this now means that we cannot trust Nigerians to peacefully protest. I think Nigerians are very well aware of the fact that when bus terminals were being burnt down, they ultimately had to suffer the consequence of that. When there are services, public services and utilities that you were used to using as part of your daily existence, that you can no longer use for several months into years because of the actions of just a very few, just a handful of mischievous individuals operating within a crowd, I think there's a recognition on the part of our people that it is not in their interest for such activity to take place. When you have a micro, small, or medium-scale enterprise being run by a Nigerian citizen who's working from morning to night to make ends meet, and you have a protest movement that's been hijacked and people are now looting such stores and creating havoc around these environments, ultimately it will be that Nigerian citizen who's toiling, who's working hard every day, who's going to suffer the consequence of that. So our position with respect to the potential for a hijacking is about defending the right of Nigerians and defending their properties and defending, of course, their personal safety with respect to, working out the security, platforms and the security strategy with respect to how we're going to ensure that those mischievous elements do not operate successfully within what is a legitimate and peaceful protest movement. That does not mean that we are unaware or naive about the fact that there are political interest groups in the country who may seek to, leverage on the presence of a peaceful protest to achieve an ulterior motive. We recognize that. Our security agencies are on top of that. But ultimately, we believe in the wisdom of our people, in the principles and values shared by our people, and we believe that our people fully understand that it is in their interest to protest in a way that is in conformity with international norms and